Prabhu ये मैं बुक कर रहा हूँ।
Krishna
ಬನ್ನಿ.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Can I request you breathing a little bit? Some more people can have just breathing.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
can I request people to come forward and squeeze in? We've got a couple of guests outside waiting to sit. So let's make room for everybody. You can check that away and people can come forward. Amunim is coming out.
Please move so that we can squeeze in some devotees coming.
I'll tell you, if you squeeze in, you won't feel cold. That's for sure.
So more devotees can squeeze in the air. So thank you very much for coming on this Friday. So you all choose to be here for a special source. All of you could have been somewhere else on a Friday, isn't it? Friday night is very auspicious in terms of so many activities that people can do. But I should congratulate all of you that you are here for a very special occasion on an auspicious day. So here we have a very special guest. His name is Vedavyasa Swami Maharaj. So I'll just give a brief introduction before we hear from Maharaj. His name is Vedavyasa Swami Maharaj. He is a disciple of His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He is the Founder-Acharya of ISKCON. Maharaj born in a Odisha Brahmin family, and he is basically a biochemist. And they went to US along with his parents, and within very short time, very few weeks, came in contact with the devotees and got attracted to chanting the holy name and the philosophy, and immediately joined the movement, and then started his journey, spiritual journey. Maharaj is a traveling preacher, so he is based in Vrindavan. He's basically based in Vrindavan, but he travels all around the world preaching or distributing the message of Srimad Bhagavad Gita to the people. He covers Australia, New Zealand, the Bangladesh, Thailand, and Myanmar, Cambodia, US, even the Southeast Asian countries. So we are very fortunate to have Maharaj here. He also had many positions of in the ISKCON, a GBC, General Body Council, as the president of the temple and temple around the many parts of the world, and is also an initiating spiritual master. And we are very fortunate to be here. He's here only for 5 days in Melbourne, and you are the most auspicious, fortunate people to get to for this Bhakti Vriksha. So we made a special arrangement for combining these two Bhakti Vriksha. You might be seeing some new faces, each other, right? So the usual group is there, but we have combined the two Bhakti Vrikshas of the Western suburb, Werribee and Triganina, Paresh Prabhu and myself. So it's very nice. So all over to Maharaj. His name is Vedavyasa Maharaj.
Before Maharaj takes over, can I request to silence your phone, because we don't want any disturbance while Maharaj is speaking? That would be appreciated. Thank you.
Can I silence my phone too?
Okay.
Because it rings, you know. It likes to ring whenever I'm speaking. Silent mode on. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Harite Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Just speak in English.
Yes, Kumar.
No problem.
Some of us will English. थोड़ा हिंदी भी चलेगा.
English. सभी को हिंदी समझ में आती है? No problem. और अंग्रेजी में? No problem. Then no problem. So, International Society for Krishna Consciousness is the movement, it's a worldwide movement. And the plan of this movement can be only unfolded to those who are faithful. Faithless has no access to it. Srila Prabhupada invested faith in people who are completely unknown, but they were true seekers. So if we have Jigyasu Sreya Uttamam, Jigyasu means you are inquisitive for Uttama Shreya. Shreya and prayer, these are two words. Shreya means ultimate benefit and prayer means temporary benefit. Most of us do not know what is our Shreya. We are engaged into prayer activities, temporary activities of eating, sleeping, mating and defending. How long can you do it? And you do not remain satisfied. So all our efforts in the activity that we perform with different ideas and different trainings and different cultures and different, facilities to work within that sphere. We have no idea that are we leading a fruitful life or not. Many people are frustrated with money because money is there and money makes problem. Because everybody is putting their attention on the people. How can this guy die and I'll grab his wealth? Starting from his own family members to his friends and other extended families. So, because he doesn't know what is his ultimate benefit. We work for temporary benefits. And what is the big deal? Nobody remains satisfied with whatever they are doing. Because if we think we are in good health and there is no corona, But Corona taught us a very good and strong lesson. Many lost their jobs. Their income was completely curtailed, and they have to make so many adjustments to pass on these 2 terrible years. Right? We think it will be a time being situation, but कोरोना हटने का कोई नाम ही नहीं लेता. Few of my disciples are suffering right now in corona. Where did it come from? Even in Mayapur. I have a very good god brother who was working in NIH, National Institute of Health, where he was working on coronaviruses almost all his life in the research, because there are varieties. And he knew thoroughly. He also got the shots, and he was so confident, corona, we lived with it. We know thoroughly. But amazingly, he is right now suffering from corona. Corona attack in Mayapur. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Just like in Melbourne, cases are going on and they are not subsiding, whichever strand it may be. But the effect is very unpredictable. He planned for retirement and spending his life, the rest of his life in Mayapur, in meditation and preaching and this and that. But Krishna gave him another shot that was very surprising to him. That I played with corona. How come corona is attacking me now? So, however we plan out for short-term benefits, that is not congenial, that is not reasonable, that is not even intelligent. So you should know what is Shreya. For Shreya, you cannot find in this material world. Ultimate benefit cannot be found in material world. For purpose of your inquisitiveness about the subject of Shreya, you must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasu Shreya uttamam. Uttamam. Udgatah tama iti uttamam. Means one which elevates you from the darkness to the perpetuity of eternal life. That is Uttama. And Krishna is known as Uttama Sloka. He is always sung in the highest praise ever to be found by choicest words. Sanskrit words are coming from the choice, not ordinary like a colloquial language. In Hindi, the written language is tough than spoken language. Even though my mother tongue was Gujarati, but in the SSC examination, I got only 38 marks. And that was considered that time, in my time, 35 was passing mark. So I passed, I didn't fail. But today I will fail. Why? Because the derivative of the language means language, mother language is Sanskrit. And all other are derivative languages. So the change of the time, circumstantial, then expression of the circumstances are in different tongues. Everything affects on the language. Today you must have seen, just we were talking, should I speak in English or Hindi? Then somebody says, English? That is a change in the time. So similarly, in temporary subject matter, they are affected by the time. They are not going to give a solution of our life. We believe that our life is eternal, Sanatan Dharma. But we are not taught what is Sanatan. We believe we are Sanatani, but we do not know because we are not taught. While Bhagavad Gita and regular study of Bhagavad Gita will reveal us that the spirit in this body, which is ascertained the name soul, which is part and parcel of the Supreme Whole, who is the sum and substance of all the cause and causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. It's cause of all causes. That's how we are learning from Bhagavad Gita. But again, simply verbatim recitation is going to give you understanding about our reality. For that reason, we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti tam jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. So Bhakti Vriksha is a system of congregational education. In the Gurukul, the fundamentals of education are centered around the education of the soul. And today's Gurukul system, they introduce even science and history. That is not Gurukul. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya upadekshanti tam jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. Guru must be tattvadarshana. Seekers of the truth must approach the one who has seen the truth. You are seekers of truth. Otherwise, we don't want to cast everybody as believers. In Christianity, they accumulate believers, but we educate the seekers of truth. You are all seekers of truth. And you must know what is the truth. Bhagavad Gita will reveal the truth, means Krishna's song is going to reveal the truth, and Arjuna is accepting it at a very reasonable methodology of acceptance. In 10th chapter he will reveal, before the Bhagavad Gita ends. And we are also supposed to be learning for knowing the absolute truth and the acceptance of it as a reality in our life, because we are also real part and parcel of the absolute truth. And therefore we must look into this subject matter very systematically. It's not fantasy. Bhakti Vriksha means the seed of devotion is in everyone's heart, but we never cared for nurturing it. You may say, oh, I never got an opportunity. But that is a misfortune in Kali Yuga. And everybody is born with that misfortune. Do you know what is that misfortune in Kali Yuga? In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Prayana alpayushya Kalav asya. Sabhya means the member of Kalav, Kali Yuga. Prayana alpayusya sabya kalavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadrita. In this age of Kali, people are but short-lived. They are lazy, manda. So manda matayo. That intelligence is very, very lazy, doesn't want to use. Most of us are hovering on our mind, not on intelligence. So manda matayo. We are lazy, but our intelligence is more lazier than us. If we are not intelligent, what are we called? In Gujarati, we call dafol. Right? We are supposed to be repeated so many times to remember a little bit thing. Is that a good fortune? In previous ages, they have no other system but to receive the knowledge through proper hearing. And they were experts. Can you become an expert simply on hearing? Yes. Because hearing is still most powerful agent or the sense out of all the five senses. Suppose you are sleeping in the dead of night and a thief enters and you are all alone. Who is going to wake you up? Which sense? You can't smell the thief. You can't lick and taste the thief. The thief is not going to come and touch you. And your eyes are closed, you can't see him. So, which sense is open? Ear. So always use ear. If you keep your ears open to assimilate the words of truth and let it enter in your heart, that is the true hearing. And in the same way, true speaking, the words precisely spoken are true eloquence. Precise, precision. Krishna's words are very precise. If I tell you, can you explain this? Then you will go round. That is not precision. It is approximate. Or tunde matir binna. In every cranium there is a different ideology because there are so many garbage teachings have been added into our brains that whatever we learnt a little bit, they interfere in the study of the absolute truth. So, prayana alpayusya, kalav asmin yuge janaha. In this Kali Yuga, all the members of Kali Yuga are alpayusya, manda sumanda matayo, and manda bhagyahi upadrita. Manda bhagya means misfortunate. Is Kali Yuga good fortune? You might think escaping India and coming to Australia is a very good fortune. Who agrees? One. Is it a good fortune? For how long?
Temporary.
Temporary. That's good intelligence. But it's not good fortune, Prabhu. Australia is also suffering. Because it is part of Quad to, defend against China. Is that good fortune? It's very uncertain. So how come the subjects of that nation who is fearing involvement in the fratricidal war can be ever fortunate? It's not, you did not invite it, but it is imposed on you. Is that good fortune? No. Mandabhagya and upadrita. Even a mosquito, even little corona, which is not a living entity even, it is disturbing us. Right? Corona is not a living entity. Doesn't have consciousness. It is simply a fragmental broken from the COVID-19. That's called mutant gene. Who makes it replicate? Are there anybody in science, research, or something called studying genetics? No. We have studied a little bit because I did my master's in biochemistry and I did research in the nephrology and I gave up happily. So many things. And some people who know thoroughly the effect of this coronavirus, they were pre-planning to suck up your blood before corona strikes. In conjunction with China, America supplied them money to run this virology lab in Wuhan. And that Dr. Fauci, who is still the head of NIH, National Institute of Health, he and Bill Gates planned for mass manufacturing of vaccine for corona. And they wanted prioritizing their sort of billions and billions of dollars they were talking at your cost of ignorance. Mandamati. But unfortunately, their program failed because they were caught up. Everybody got corona, but China is the last one to get it. It started from that, and it is the last one to get it. And they can't control either. Upadrita! We are always going to remain disturbed. Kali Yuga is the yuga for disturbances, not a peaceful, happy life of a fortunate person. We are all unfortunate. To come out from the misfortune and become fortunate, Jayi Brahmanda Rupe Bhamite Hoya Kona Bhagyavana Jeev. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhaktivedanta Beach. By the mercy and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one receives the seed of pure devotion with a proper understanding and factual realization. The development of our consciousness that brings us the reality face to face. We do not know who are we right now. We may believe a little bit, but it doesn't make you realize. You have to practice something. So Bhakti Vriksha is that whatever the seed of devotion, because everybody is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says the Jiva in Jiva Loke is my part and parcel. And the nature is Sanatana. It was never created and never can be destroyed. But then what is so much that we go against this reality and we remain fearful over extinction like dinosaurs. The soul is indestructible. Na jayate, neither it is born. Na mriyate, it cannot die. Va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya. It is not that he has been appeared for some time and he will disappear again. No. Ajo nityam shashvatoyam. Aja means unborn. Nityam means for eternal. Shashvat means factual existence. Purano na hanyate hanyamane shari. Even though the body is destroyed, it will not be destroyed. So, we have to gear our intelligence. What is being destroyed and what is not being destroyed. If you see our culture and the habits that we have been born into, we never think that person has died. Rather, he is transiting into another life. And therefore we do Shraddha to promote in a better position or circumstances. It becomes the obligation on the children to deliver their parents. And parents also have the obligation to educate them so they can have deliverance. It's a mutual contract. There is no other relationship. Because putra, pitru, matru, दोहित्रु सब त्र से जुड़े हैं. त्र means त्राणाय, deliverance. Pita has a function to raise us so we can remain mature to deliver us and not get entangled into the material world, life after life. We don't need to come. And if the father or mother could not finish the job, then the job of deliverance falls on the children. Okay? Do Shraddha. Deliver your father. Deliver your mother who has left the body. They left the body, but when did they go? You are not the body. You are leaving the body. But then you must be going somewhere. It's not a belief. If you understand that we also have a subtle body of mind, intelligence and ego, it does not get burned. So where does the soul go? The Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajanti ante kalevaram tam 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 eveti konte saratat bhav bhavita. Whatever kind of inclination one leaves while he quits the body, it is stored in the mind because he has that inclination. And he remembers at the time of death. Right? So therefore, the mind is telling ego, take him to fulfill his desire. He might have to go through grilling exercises of Yamaraj for paying off the indebtedness of karma. That's another story. But he does not die. He has to go further, pay off and start all over again. That's called reincarnation. कहाँ चल रहा है?
Kids room.
Yeah?
Kids class. Children class.
Another class. Oh, children class. All right. So, even if we try to understand, then compare with our scientific fact. Science says that every 7 years, all the cells of our body changes because they are also units, and they grow, they produce their byproduct, they dwindle and disappear. Then another one comes. So at every 7 years, if all the cells of the body are going to change, you have heard this? I'm not bluffing, right? Okay, good. He's my support. So, are you the cell, are you the body, or you are the same person passing through the body? Bodily changes. For my mother, I am the same person, whether I was a little or old. The person doesn't change, the body changes. And everybody experiences. But they don't want to utilize this factual observational truth in their life. Because they are obsessed in titillating senses. So forgetfulness is not an excuse. You have to pay hard. Human body, human consciousness has not been designed for this animalistic life. So, when we see we are reincarnating within this body 14 times if we live 400 years. 14 times you are changing the body and you do not notice it. But Bhagavad Gita will say, Dehi no asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namohyati. Are you going to become dhira or samandamatayo? Means adhira. Dhira means seriously steadfast in your resolve of proper understanding about the life and what are we supposed to do, life's activities, or we call our farsh means duty, obligatory works. If we do perfectly, then it's also not going to be proven. But if we do perfectly for the pleasure of the Lord, it changes the whole topic. See, for whom are you supposed to do all this? Immediate relatives or ultimate relative from whom you have been separated as a part and parcel in eternal. So, Bhakti Vriksha will bring you to closer to your reality. Knowing once, you'll be happy. You will be able to control your life better. You will be able to make a very definitive progress towards this temporality of the body and bodily conceptions. And you will be given entry into eternity. You must have heard this aphorism by the Vedas, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityuma amrutam gaya. What is the next? Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, amrutyuma amrutam gaya. What does it indicate? Gamaya means go. I said, Gama. Then I said, yeah, gachan. आदेश है कि जाओ. किसको कहते हैं वेद में? तो श्रुति मनुष्य को कहती है, सिर्फ इंडियन को नहीं कहती, सारी दुनिया को कहती. Get out from the realm of ignorance and go towards the enlightenment of the real knowledge of the self and the super self. That is Jyoti. Sat means eternity. Give up this temporary mentality and enter into the eternity. Give up this ignorance and proceed towards the enlightenment, and give up the conception of death and enter into deathless situation. Do you think you are eternal? You'll keep on existing even after death? Yes?
Yes.
Why? If nobody can see your mind, intelligence and ego, these are the envelope that the soul is still packed in. They cannot die by burning. Only earth, water, fire, air, ether, this Pancha Mahabhut is going to be destroyed by the fire, and it will mix up the elemental in their respective sources. पानी पानी में चला जाएगा, पृथ्वी तत्व में चला जाएगा, वायु वायु तत्व में चला जाएगा. So Panchamahabhut is not the reality, it is a temporality imposed upon you, and it is actually confining you, it is engaging you. And body. You want to do a lot, but when you are confined in the body, you are limited. You can't do things unlimited. You can't think even unlimited. You can't feel even. So, all the realities will be exposed to you when you study in groups, and interactive studies are there. Interaction. So, it will help you a lot to come to this. And this education, our Vedic Institute is supposed to give, but unfortunately, it is dismantled. But we are, ISKCON is an educational institute. Our purpose is to educate what we have forgotten. And actually that is the definition of educator. Wrote Macmillan Dictionary or Oxford Dictionary, and you find out what is the what does educare means. To bring about what we have forgotten. That's called education. So we have to even repeatedly hear. मुझे warning देना है क्या? So we have to take the advantage of scientific education about the scientific process of performance of bhakti. Bhakti is jnana vijnana sahitam. It's not one way. It's not a sentimentalism. Otherwise, how come most of the educated people and youngsters are joining this movement? All over the world. Even the Muslims are becoming devotees. So what goes of our own? Mithya ahankar to chhodna padega. Because we are nowhere without our culture. Huh? What is our value as a community? Huh? But Srila Prabhupada thought that yes, in India and Indians have inclination to blindly imitate the Westerners. वो 420 फिल्म आई थी ना राज कपूर वाली, मेरा जूता है जापानी पर पतलून इंग्लिस्तानी, लेकिन दिल है हिंदुस्तानी क्यों बोला? मैं बेवकूफ हूं, तो उसका ज्यादातर रोल सब में बेवकूफी का ही है. But it is sarcastic to understand the implications that we are suffering from. परदेसी आकर लूट गए हम और लूटते ही जा रहे हैं. परदेसी राज करती है इंडिया में, परदेसन बोलते हैं. क्या बात है? How many Indians are against India? That is कलयुग का प्रभाव है. कौन स्पेयर करेगा? किसको स्पेयर करेगा? But still, we don't have to remain only elated by the prestige of our culture, unless we follow and revive it. So this is also revival of our original consciousness. According to Bhagavad Gita, that is called Krishna consciousness. Krishna has spoken this Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years back to Arjuna, but the instructions are so universal that we don't have to be proud unnecessarily when we do not know the subject matter. It's a foolish thing when we are not practicing it. So better get trained, equipped, and self-reliant. You don't have to get something new from reading Western literatures. They are hedonistic literatures based on sense gratification, and our literatures, the Vedas, are telling to control it. Completely opposite. Rudyard Kipling was saying that East is East and West is West. They will never meet. That's correct. We try to mix and we become modern in competition with the world, but our reliance is only on the basis of our culture and practice of the culture, not otherwise. So thank you very much. Anybody has any question? किसी को प्रश्न है? Yes.
So what do you do when your soul is agitated or sad within this body? What do you do, like to calm yourself and your soul down?
Would you agree to accept just by telling somebody, or would you want to realize by practice of it?
Practice of it.
Very good. It will take some time. Enjoy. I was told you have filled of questions. Bolo, ek questions karo. I will try. This is my service to you.
You said we should practice to calm our soul, what should we practice exactly?
Repeat
Like,
it.
what should we do to practice? Like, what are we doing? when we're
Detect
practicing?
it.
No, how do we practice?
How do we practice?
Like, what do we do
What
to
do we do?
practice to calm our soul? And
Okay. There are three ways people are trying to know it. By cultivation knowledge, by meditation, and by performance of devotional service. It's ascertained through the pages of the Vedas that there's a gradual rise and realization. And if somebody uses the Vedic knowledge to establish the truth, they will have a very difficult time. The Jnana Marg, they have to contemplate upon the impersonal aspects of the absolute truth, which is very difficult to find that there is a person behind in the Vedic literature. Vedesu sudurlabham. Very, very difficult to find through the pages through cultivation of knowledge. They may get partial realization of Brahmajyoti. That is, it's a transcendental state of enlightenment. But there is a wrong or misnomer situation occurring that they want to dissolve their existence in the Brahmajyoti. It's like spiritual suicide. So what will you gain? Partial realization. They don't understand Brahmajyoti is emanating from the body of the Absolute Truth. So Absolute Truth is a person. But impersonal knowledge cannot understand the personality aspect. So therefore it is putting us into partial realization. You will not be satisfied. Because Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam mam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. Out of many, many human births in such knowledge, when one ultimately surrenders to me, thinking that Vasudeva is all in all, and surrenders to me, he will be a very rare soul. He is called Mahatma. One who is not surrendered, how can you estimate? People cannot make anybody Mahatma. Mahatma's definition is given by Krishna himself. A politician cannot become Mahatma because he is not a surrendered soul. Politics means jhut ka danda. It can make you or destroy you. क्या झगड़ा हो रहा है देखो ना इंडिया में. The lowest of politics is going on. The lowest, जिसमें औकात भी काम में नहीं आती. There is another group. They try to meditate because the Lord is sitting in everyone's heart and they want to find out by meditation. They may get little better realization, but it is not complete either. Because knowing the absolute truth as a person is also not enough. Unless and until you know what is your truth and what are you supposed to do. That is called finding out by self-realization, the journey of self-realization. Self. When you realize self, there is a methodology given. Unless and until the self is localized as well as self is functionalized in its original aspect, what his original nature is supposed to be. And if we employ it right within this lifetime, then there are every chances that not only you will be liberated from the misconception of the material nature, but also you will transcend by serving the Supreme because you are part and parcel of Him. So, natural occupation of all living entity is to be subservient to somebody. Dekho. Are you Lord and Master? You are serving somebody? Who says he has nobody to serve? Yeah, there are certain ladies, children had gone away, nothing, and she's alone. And so I have no worry, I have everybody to serve. But she's keeping dog or cat. Service is the natural occupation of all living entities. Service. Jivera Swarup over Nitya Krishna Das. But ultimately, they are the servant of the Supreme who made them, who are their constituent part and parcel of Him. So that realization, you require practice, and you will come to the fullest realization when you will have your relationship established with the Supreme Whole. Your functionality for maintenance of that relationship will be also established. And the prayojan means the ultimate aim of relationship and functionality is for love of God. If that is absent, then you can't make believe like a Cinderella and think and they live happily ever after. Never. It's a fantasy. But Krishna promises and He declares, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvita. Buddha bhava means intelligence. Nanda manda mataya. You have to realize this fact. Because nobody ever in any other literature or our literature, any demigod even ever claimed that we are his part and parcel. You will find Bhagavad Gita, the ambrosial word, so emphatically telling that even non-believers also have to accept. Non-believers, they accept and they estimate that there is no other comparative treatise on the absolute truth. And that truth you can't do on your own. And we have a congregation and we chant together. We serve Lord Krishna through His holy name, using our tongue. You know, what was the use of giving us 5 senses? The senses are knowledge acquiring senses. Okay? And Krishna created 24 elements out of that. 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 organs of senses, and 5 subjects of senses. Means 15 tattvas. Along with earth, water, fire, air, ether. Mind, intelligence and ego. 8. 15 into 8 is 22. And the soul entered into these tattvas. So these tattvas are manufactured by Krishna himself before the material creation starts, where complicated bodies they have been done. So Brahma has to take care of that part. But Krishna has already created. Then he said, hey Brahma, now you can do. I have given you the ingredients. You manipulate. So there is a system of factual coming into manifestive stage, not only conceptual state, manifestive state. And that has been described in our Vaishnava Tantra, where without wasting time into hovering on the knowledge aspect or meditative aspect, Kali Yuga is only been recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam than Kalau Dosha Nidhe Rajan. Kali Yuga is the ocean of faults. There are no good virtues except one. Asti Eko Mahadguna. There is only one Mahadguna in this Kali Yuga. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangam paramdaji. How can you become free if you are not free from the bodily conception of life? हम तो सदगत आत्मा को मुक्ति चाहते हैं, मानते हैं भगवान इनको मुक्ति दे दे। सारा जीवन जिन्होंने लपेटने में ही बिताया हो और उसके लिए मुक्ति की आवश्यकता क्यों समझते हैं? तो आपको पहले मुक्त होना होगा, तब फोर फादर को मुक्त कर पाओगे। सो दैट इज ऑब्लिगेशन। So, practice of Bhakti Yoga, which is scientific, it will prove you right before your eyes. It's not a make-believe thing. You will situate in such a state of existence of consciousness that पांच इंद्रिय जिस हेतु के लिए दी थी, उसको हम भगवान ने दी। ये पांच इंद्रियों में जो शक्ति जो जा रही है, जो जिसे हम चेतना कहते हैं, चेतना का उद्गम तो आध्यात्मिक होता है, भौतिक होता ही नहीं। यदि भौतिक होता चेतना, if it is made, then they could have made in lab. They can't make consciousness, awareness. But you are aware of your surrounding. But इंद्रियों की तो सेवा इंद्रियों की स्वामी की सेवा के लिए दी गई थी। इंद्रियों को ऋषिक कहते हैं, पांच इंद्रियां हैं। सर्वोपाधिर विनिर्मुक्तम तत्परत्वेन निर्मलम ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेशम सेवनम भक्ति रुच्यते। ऋषिक यानी इंद्रियां, एंड ऋषिक के स्वामी ऋषिकेश कहलाता है। नाम तो होगा ना किसी का, ऋषिकेश सुना होगा ना। ऋषिकेश कृष्ण भगवान को कहते हैं। अर्जुन ऋषिकेश करके पुकारता है। जब तक हमारी इंद्रियां ऋषिकेश की सेवा में नहीं है, तब गया काम से। तो उसे भक्ति कहते हैं। भक्ति कोई मन चंगा तो कथरोट में गंगा की बात है क्या? नो, वी हैव टू put up on a factual platform, not imaginary virtual platform. Bhakti is not that. Okay? And pratyaksha avagamam means factually performed. And it will give you the factual results. Dharmam susukham kartum avyayam. The application of Bhakti Yoga, it will be very pleasant. And inexhaustible result will be there. ये परमानेंट एसेट हमें इकट्ठी करनी चाहिए। एक जीवन में जितनी हो सकी कर लो। कोई पूर्ण रूप से ही करना चाहता है तो वेरी गुड, यू हैव एवरी चांसेस टू फिनिश इट अप। इसमें भगवान का नाम ही एकमात्र सोर्स ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल एनर्जी का मिल रहा है। There is no other way. कलौ दोष निधि राजन, अदरवाइज सारा कलयुग दोष की निधि है, समुद्र है, अस्ति एको महत्व, एक ही महान गुण है, कीर्तनाद एव कृष्णस्य मुक्त संगम परम ब्रजे, सिर्फ कृष्ण भगवान के ही। तो आप तो राम कर, तो राम किसके अवतार थे? तो कृष्ण के अवतार थे। कृष्ण अवतारी हैं, अवतार नहीं बताया है। जो लोग निर्गुण तत्ववादी हैं वो लोग भगवान को यूं क्यों तिरस्कृत करते हैं, भगवान का कहा मानते नहीं, वो अपनी भाषा में समझाना चाहते हैं। भगवान से ज्यादा कोई बुद्धिमान नहीं है, लेकिन भंडा फोड़ देते हैं उसका। तो निर्गुण तत्ववादी जो है वो सिर्फ ज्ञानवर्धक होता है, लेकिन इसकी भी मर्यादा है, यू नो, इट इज वेरी लिमिटेड। लेकिन माया पृथक ज्ञान है, माया द्वारा असली ज्ञान जो भगवान की शरणागति का है वो चुराया जाता है। तो वो लोग भगवान के पास जाएंगे ही क्यों? That's why यदि कोई मायावादी मंदिर में आ गया, निर्गुण तत्ववादी आ गया, तब भगवान के साथ हाथ जोड़ के यहाँ बस खड़ा रहेगा, मत्था नहीं टिकाएगा। देख रहा, वो अपने आप को अहम ब्रह्मास्मि कहेंगे। हाँ? क्या ठिकाना है उसका? ऐसे तो खिचड़ी पकाने साधु वाले भी जानते हैं। साधु के पास परिप्रश्न है ना, तो करना ही चाहिए। इंडिया में कोई साधु को ऐसी फुर्सत नहीं मिलती। वहां कमंडल लेकर आता है, अंदर बीड़ी के ठूठे होते हैं, उखा निकाले, चलो मैं प्रसाद डाल दूं कि नहीं 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 हमें नहीं खाना है चाहते, क्योंकि भंडा फूट जाएगा। राइट? खिचड़ी साधु, साधु के पास तो हमें भगवत प्रेम प्राप्त करने के लिए परीक्षा हमेशा करनी चाहिए, तब सेवा हो पाएगी। लेकिन जो मान्यता में ही पड़े हैं साधु, इनको लूट के ही जाते हैं, किसी न किसी बहाने आते रहते हैं। हम तो आए हैं, जा रहे हैं, साधु है, नेपाल जाएंगे लेकिन ठंड है, आप ऐसे करो ना, एक ब्लैंकेट दिलवा दो। लेकिन भगवान के बारे में कुछ सिखा के नहीं जाएंगे। संत महात्मा यदि मानते हो तो उनका परिचय भी नहीं करना चाहते क्या? क्योंकि सत्य नहीं है, सत्य की उपासना नहीं करते। सत्यम परम धीमहि, दिस इज एब्सोल्यूट ट्रुथ, एंड श्रीमद् भागवतम इज द सोर्स ऑफ इट। ब्रह्म सूत्र की व्याख्या ही परम सत्य के लिए है। व्यासदेव एक छोटा सा सूत्र और 18,000 श्लोक का ग्रंथ बना दिया, वही एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए। सही? So please get inspiration by this association of Bhakti Vriksha progress. When I come next year, most of you will be chanting 16 rounds. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Prabhu, do we have time? One more question. Do we have
Okay, I have time, but they don't have.
Prabhu, if I may have, Hare Krishna Prabhu, if I may, I've got one as well.
Just hold on. Yeah.
After.
After.
Yeah.
So प्रभु जी, आपने बोला कि सारे सोल्स जो है वो परमात्मा के पार्ट एंड पार्सल ही है,
Yes.
कृष्ण के पार्ट एंड पार्सल ही है। Then why has Krishna given power of choice to the part and parcel of
Power of choice.
Yeah, कि मुझे नहीं करनी है भक्ति, या करनी है।
That's a very intelligent question, because every individual is a minute part and parcel, so it has minute independence. If he misuses the minute independence, then he will never rise up. He will always put in the rotation of 8.4 million species of life. हर बार गलती करना क्या सही है? मनुष्य जन्म भी जब मिलता है, लब्ध्वा इदं सुदुर्लभम बहु संभवान्ते, अनेक अनेक जन्मों बाद जब मनुष्य की उत्क्रांति में यदि जन्म होता है तो क्या चॉइस के लिए दिया है? इतने सारे चॉइस वाले आपने जन्म लिए, क्या आपने एम्ब्रियोलॉजी नहीं सीखी है? इसमें बताते हैं कि क्या क्या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है। पहले तो पता ही नहीं कि ये किसका अंडा है। कुत्ते की भी ऐसे ही, बिल्ली की भी ऐसे ही, मनुष्य की भी ऐसे ही सिमिलर गायनेकोलॉजी होती है। ये चॉइस है या कन्फाइनमेंट है? आप मनुष्य अवस्था में चॉइस देखते होंगे, बट इज इट अ चॉइस और कन्फाइनमेंट? जो कन्फाइनमेंट में है, जो जेल में है, तो चॉइस से आता है जेल में और उसे डाला जाता है। भगवान के साम्राज्य में जब जीव ईर्ष्या करता है भगवान के साथ, तब गिरने की संभावना बनी रहती है। और गिरने के लिए कहाँ उसको दिया जाए? भगवान के साम्राज्य में स्थान नहीं होता। वहां तो भगवान का ही चलता है और भगवान की ताबेदारी स्वीकारनी पड़ती है। जब जीव इसका विरोध करता है तो इच्छा द्वेष समर्थेन द्वंद्व मोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप। ये चॉइस का है या जबरदस्ती का मामला है? बताओ। आपने चॉइस की, चॉइस के अनुसार जबरदस्ती होती है। दैट यू आर नॉट रेडी। You had right to do choice. वो भगवान नहीं छोड़ देते। अरे कर्म करने में भी तुम्हारा अधिकार दिया गया है, लेकिन कैसे कर्म करना उसकी जानकारी तो बुद्धिमान लोगों की होनी चाहिए।
But Prabhuji, why have they given that independence?
Why not?
If you are part of
you are part, but you are disconnected. ये हाथ को कुछ हुआ, डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया है, तो even though it is my part and parcel, but it cannot function in unity with the whole body. So similarly, we got disconnected with our own culture, with our own teachings, with our own God-given facilities. ये गुना इंडिपेंडेंस चॉइस का है क्या? You asked for it, you got it. But then why do complain? You have to face. आज तक हम फेस करते आए, फिर भी अकल नहीं आती कि हमें जबरदस्ती क्यों पड़ती है। जेल में आने के लिए कुछ गुनहगार ही तो होंगे, तभी तो आते हैं ना। It's a good question, but now you ponder it on. वहां जेलर देखी, दुर्गा माता बैठी है, दुर्ग यानी किला, उसके किले में फंसते हैं। भगवान का साम्राज्य छोड़कर दुर्गा जी के साम्राज्य में आना, अरे त्रिशूल भोंकने के लिए वो तो देती है। लेकिन ये त्रिशूल क्यों भोंकती है? क्योंकि एजुकेशन देना चाहती है। माँ की गोद में बच्चा कितनी देर और कब तक पड़ा रहता है? माँ धक्का मार के निकालती है, चल बड़ा हो रहा है, निकल तो यहां से, है ना? जबरदस्ती से निकालती है। Because otherwise minute independence abuses. वो हम सही उपयोग करना जानते नहीं, we do other way around, we abuse it. इंडिपेंडेंस का दुरुपयोग करते हैं। सही उपयोग तो वॉलंटरीली कृष्ण भगवान के ताबेदारी स्वीकारना है, क्योंकि ये हमारे पिता हैं और उनके अंश हम हैं, तो उनकी विरासत वापस मिले। तो गलती तो सब कोई कर सकते हैं, लेकिन गलती स्वीकारना, गलती सुधारना बाकी रहा है ना। when we take shelter of the holy name, Krishna is attracted. And that too also in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others without anticipating any respects for himself. That is Tronadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Shahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaj. Only in that state we will be able to really call out for help of Lord Shri Krishna, and then he will run to embrace you. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Prabhuji, my question is, what happens to those souls who are fighting for the nation, for the people of the nation, selflessly in the war zone?
What is selfless? They have attachment for the nation.
Right, but they are fighting for someone else. So
Nothing. Listen, this is it's, suppose if he is forced to fight by obligation, देश भक्ति जिसे कहते हैं, तयस्यात्म बुद्धि कुणपेत्री धातु के स्वधि कलत्रादिषु इज्य भौमधि यत् तीर्थ बुद्धि सलीले न करिए जनेषु अभिज्ञेषु स एवं गोखर, गो यानी गैया, खर यानी कि गधा। जब तक हमारी जो देहात्म बुद्धि कफ पित्त और वायु शरीर पर ही रही है, और हमें भगवान के लिए फिदा नहीं करना है, देशभक्ति के लिए फिदा करना है, चलो तो क्या दूसरी बार वापस आना पड़ेगा।
तो जब वो लोग दोबारा आएंगे तो will they be having like pious being जैसा आएंगे या फिर
they may given some better opportunity। वो कि pious activity वो तो स्वधर्म का पालन है, शरीर संबंधी पालन है। शरीर त्रिगुणात्मक है, तो सब अपने अपने गुणों में रहकर वो जो वर्णाश्रम धर्म में सूचित किए गए कर्म करना है। जैसे ब्राह्मणों का जो धर्म है, तो पठन पाठन जजन जाजन दान प्रतिग्रह, इसी तरह क्षत्रियों का धर्म है। क्षत्र यानी इंजरी कर,
like although they are attached to the nation,
yes,
वो लोग selflessly ready है, right? Like त्याग करने के लिए पूरे लोगों
हाँ, but
के लिए।
the selfless त्याग is for something lesser than Krishna. If he is fighting like Arjuna is fighting on Krishna's desire, then it's a different thing. वो लोग हमारे जो जवान हैं लद्दाख में इत्यादि, वो भगवत गीता लेकर पढ़ते हैं और अर्जुन की तरह फाइट करना चाहते हैं और भगवान की प्रीति के लिए फाइट करना चाहते हैं। यदि भगवान की प्रीति के लिए फाइट करता है तो नेशन की प्रीति अंदर आ ही जाती है। तो यूक्रेन में कई वीडियो आई थी, देखी? हरे कृष्ण वाले भी बंदूक उठाकर, एक बाएं हाथ में बंदूक है, दाएं हाथ में माला है, करते करते कितने भक्त मर गए हैं।
But then वो लोग salvation attain करेंगे, right?
Salvation means mukti.
Like Krishna will accept him.
Acceptance is there, but अर्जुन का क्या acceptance हुआ?
मतलब he was able to.
No, Arjun fought for Krishna's pleasure.
Yeah.
But Arjun was Indra's son, and all these demigods are servants of Krishna. So servitorship is eternal principle. वो लोग जहाँ देवताओं के राज्य में उपस्थित थे, वहाँ फिर से वहाँ पहुँच गए। भीष्म पिता वसु थे। इनके आराध्य कौन थे? भीष्म पिता थे। चतुर्भुज नारायण थे। जब भीष्म पितामह शरशैया पर बैठे थे, कृष्ण भगवान आए सामने, पर he knew who Krishna is. He is the summum. But भगवान आपका चतुर्भुज रूप बताओ। तो विष्णु पिता के संतोष के लिए कृष्ण भगवान ने बताया, क्योंकि इनकी सेवा में थे, चतुर्भुज की सेवा में थे, और भगवान का विस्तार है। लेकिन जीव चतुर्भुज नहीं है, वो द्विभुज है, और भगवान कृष्ण के साथ सीधा संबंध बताता है।
So is it like प्रभु चाहे कोई कितना भी pious, like अच्छे कर्म करे जो भी है, regardless of that, unless and until they surrender themselves onto Krishna, they can't attain.
They will go to स्वर्गलोक, पक्षिणे पुण्य मर्त्य लोके विशंति, फिर से आना पड़ता है। Okay? Only direct access is to the devotee who is selfless and for the pleasure of Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhu, one last question.
Okay.
Just following up on to that Prabhu's question. तो जब कृष्णा अपने को free will देते, तो why, like we ask for independence, right? So why wouldn't we also ask him to explain us about like what comes with the independence, like ignorance क्यों होता है अपने में?
भूल जाने से ignorance कहते हैं। When the soul, which is pure part and parcel, when it enters into the material realm, sattva gun, rajogun and tamogun, which are the reflection of Satchidananda gun, he traps into that opposite nature. Now, opposite nature में फंसने के बावजूद उसको कितने मौके मिलते हैं. He gets so many opportunities, but unless and until he is directed by a devotee, he will not go.
It's like we are getting attracted to the material nature.
Naturally. Naturally. जो भूला हुआ है, भटका है, उसके तो कोई मार्गदर्शन देगा तभी तो बाहर निकलेगा. पर वो भूले भटके तो अहंकारी भी होते हैं. अरे मारो गोली, मैं अच्छा हूं जहां हूं. इंद्र काफी व्यभिचारी था, उसको सजा हुई. अपने गुरु की पत्नी के साथ उसने व्यभिचार किया, तो इसको सजा मिली, जा सुअर बन जा. तो इंद्र का पद छोड़कर उसको सुअर बनना पड़ा. जितने समय वो शिक्षा थी, वो समय भी पसार हुआ. ब्रह्मा जी सोचने लगे कि ये इंद्र क्यों नहीं वापस आता. तो गए, इंद्र को ढूंढ निकाला. सुअर गंदगी में रहता है. इंद्र चल निकल, तेरा समय हो गया, वापस आ जा. तो सुअर गए. स्वर्ग तो यही है मेरे लिए, वापस जाने की मुझे तो कोई आवश्यकता दिखाई नहीं देती. दैट इज द इंडिपेंडेंस, राइट. ब्रह्मा ने मारा कि नहीं, उठा के ले गए. कहने का मतलब है कि individuality remains as an eternal fact. You are not going to merge into Brahma Jyoti. You will fall back into material platform. So, ऐसे ब्रह्म ज्योति में जाने का प्रश्न क्यों करना चाहिए? It is incomplete. जैसे कि यहाँ के प्रधानमंत्री हैं, उसका घर भी है और इसके इन्फ्लुएंस भी है. तीन चीज. इसकी इन्फ्लुएंस you can read or you can see through the radio news or anything. इन्फ्लुएंस का तो पता हो जाता है. It is not necessary that you have to know him, therefore you have to go to see where he is staying, इसका एड्रेस क्या है. पर्सनली तो कोई रिलेशनशिप है ही नहीं. But a person who is related to him, he knows his influence also, his address also, and his व्यक्तित्व also. तो भक्ति में हमें तीनों चीज की उपलब्धियां होती है. So let's be humble. उनके साथ विरोध करने के बजाय हम इनका कहा मानकर हम जी सकते हैं, तो क्यों नहीं. हमारे इंडिविजुअलिटी हमें इनके साथ टांग अड़ाने के लिए, सिंक अड़ाने के लिए नहीं दी. Don't lock horns with the supreme absolute truth. It is a revelation that will deliver us rather than it will be a waste of time. और कोई? हरे बोल।
स्वामी जी सरल भाषा में ये बताने का कष्ट करें कि ध्यान कैसे करना चाहिए।
हाँ,
ध्यान कैसे करना चाहिए?
ध्यान,
मेडिटेशन।
मेडिटेशन का ये जमाना है ही नहीं तो करना क्यों आवश्यकता है? ये तो सतयुग में ध्यान है। हाँ? हमारा ध्यान हम ध्यायतो विषयांस पुंस संगुष्टि शुभ जायते संगात संजायते काम, इसका ध्यान करते हैं। और आप भगवान का ध्यान जो इस कलयुग के लिए संभव नहीं है तो उसकी प्रथा क्यों अपनाते हो? कलयुग में तो भगवान का नाम ही एकमात्र आधार है, उस पर ध्यान करो। श्रवणम कीर्तनम। हाँ, तो आप तो कहेंगे कि स्वामी जी माला करते हैं लेकिन ध्यान अलग जाता है। अरे श्रवण करो और कीर्तन करो तो स्मरण हमेशा आएगा, लेकिन जैसे श्रवण करना बंद कर देते हैं ना, मन कहीं भटक जाएगा। ये माला दी है ना, ये पांच इंद्रियों को काम में लगाने के लिए दिए है। हाँ? स्पर्शेंद्रियां काम करेगी, श्रवणेंद्रियां काम करेगी। जीभ से आप भगवान का नाम बोलोगे तो थकोगे नहीं। यदि कोको कोला करा करोगे तो एक बूंद भी नहीं पड़ेगी, लेकिन हरे कृष्णा करोगे ना तो भगवान आपकी जीवा पर नाचेंगे। और ये देखना बहुत विकास कहलाता है। हाँ? तो पांच इंद्रियों को काम में लगाओ। हाँ, तुलसी की सोडम भी होती है। हाँ, भगवान के सामने, हाँ, भगवान के लिए धूप करते हैं। हाँ, भगवान की अंग सेवा में स्पर्शेंद्रियां भी। तो माला करते भी स्पर्श तो लगाना पड़ता है। एक माला पर ध्यान देकर एक मंत्र पे एक माला आगे निकलनी चाहिए, 10 बार नहीं निकलनी चाहिए। तो क्योंकि यदि ध्यान गया तो दुर्घटना बनेगी। सावधानी हटी तो दुर्घटना घटती है। ऐसे श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम, बाद में पाद सेवनम अर्चनम वंदनम आएगा। सामने दास्यम साख्यम आत्मनिवेदन है। धीरे धीरे प्रगति करना है। हाँ, जब भगवान के सामने निकल आते हैं पता नहीं क्यों। अरे बुरी आदत है, जब निकलना चाहिए तब निकलेगा नहीं। लेकिन भावुकता पहले आ जाती है, ये तो पागलपन है। यही भावुकता जब सात्विक विकार में आएगी तब अलग बात है। हमें सात्विक विकार तो होते ही नहीं। ज्यादातर राजसिक विकार, उससे हमें तामस यानी कि दुखों का परिचय होता है, तब रोना आता है। बहुत सारी बातें समझने की हैं और वो अपने भक्ति की प्रगति में मार्गदर्शक बनेगी। तो भक्ति वृक्ष में आपको सब सावधानी पूर्वक सिखाने की प्रवृत्ति है। पूर्ण लाभ लो और जीवन का कल्याण करो। हरे कृष्ण।
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Very nice question. Prabhupada says that symptom of an intelligent person is inquisitiveness. By asking questions. Now I can find many inquisitive people are there, but please continue attending. So there is no question goes unanswered. I know it's only 2 or 3 weeks old in your journey of self-realization. We would say, I was also in your place when I was a baby, in bhakti. Okay? So we all started a journey. Now, congratulations, you all started your journey already. So please continue attending from next week in your respective venues. And today was a special program with a special guest. It was a bumper break. Okay? Hope you all have taken advantage. Now, before Prasadam, Maharaj, can I request Maharaj?
Yes.
We have an international conference at 10 o'clock. I was trying to manage time, but we could not stop because of your intelligence question. So Maharaj will
9 o'clock?
cookies. Yeah. Please quickly take the cookies from Maharaj's hands, and then we can proceed towards Prasad. Prasad will be served. So you can take one each and then you can move. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So see you all next Friday.
Have the prasadam as well and get some.
पीछे से आ जाओ इधर से
Vedic book. Bhagavad Gita in different languages. In the same prasadam room.
Very well. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada. Hare Prabhupada. Hare Hare Krishna. Sorry. Hare Krishna.
I did already.
Yeah.